What's going on, my YouTube family? I hope you guys are having a great weekend. It's nice and hot outside, so go out and enjoy your day, guys. Just kidding, watch this video first though. And today I want to point out 3 things that I think they're really important for when you buy a car from an auction. Things to keep in mind, and hopefully you won't lose any money. The first thing I want to point out is a lot of people get excited and they hear about an auction place, or there's apps like OfferUp or other Craigslist ads that show, oh, auction Saturday, Sunday, free to the public, or some bullcrap like that, right? But people don't ask questions, and you want to ask as much questions as you can, because you don't want to go there and then just be stuck with a bigger bill. A lot of these places actually have many rules, and you want to know all of it obviously before you start buying stuff, because once you buy it, you're screwed. Like, a lot of people actually forget to research the place where they're buying the car from, and I feel like that's one of the most important things, because there's a ton of places that they say free to public, but they add a bunch of fees and stuff like that. One that I usually go to, it's a public auction, but what they do is they charge you $100 per car. They claim it to be like a paperwork fee or some dumb crap like that, but there's places where they charge even $600 for every car you buy. So just be aware. They might say free entrance, but it's not really free. Something you also want to ask about is the titles, because there's places that take a long time to give you the title. So just try to see if just ask about the title, because you don't want to have your car not be able to be sold because you don't have the actual physical title. You want to make sure you go to a public auction so you don't have to require dealer license, because without a dealer license at a place where you need one, you'll be screwed. Tip number 2, you're gonna spend a lot more money than you think. So let's say there's a car going for $1,500, right? You bid on it, boom, you won it, and now you have to pay. So pretty much, you have to pay the fees that I'm telling you about. So let's say in the one that I go to, they charge $100 per car. So if I bought the car for $1,500, I'm gonna add another $100. That's gonna be $1,600. That's cool. That's fine. And if the car runs and makes it home, you save some money. So depending on the running conditions of the car, if it doesn't run, you're gonna have to tow it. So now let's say you're having trouble with the paperwork and your car doesn't have a title, and you have to request a duplicate title, and that's gonna be more money, and let's say you have to pay your registration and all this kind of stuff. So that's just gonna start adding up little by little. And also you have to, if you're in California, you have to smog the car. And we know in California it's kind of strict in terms of smogging the car, and if it doesn't pass, you have to fix whatever parts messed up in the car and then just try to pass it, and it's a lot more money. So depending obviously on the condition of the car, that car that you're buying could be a gold mine, or it could be just a piece of junk that is gonna have you spending lots and lots of money. So just be aware and just make sure you check out the cars correctly before you try to buy it, and try to do the best you can. If not, just cry and let it go. 3rd tip. So there's certain cars that have certain problems that are really common, and let's say if you get a chance to see all the cars that are in the tow yard, just make sure to keep note of the cars that you're interested on, so that way you can go home, do a little research, see what goes wrong with those cars, because a lot of times people don't do that and they end up with a crappy car. Because there's times where, let's say there's a car that has a bad transmission, or has a leaky radiator problem or something, something of that sense. And if you see that car, you already know what to look for to just make sure it's not a bad car. So if you see a car that has a common head gasket problem, you could dip out the dipstick and then see, if there's any fluids mixing. And so, just a little research could save you tons of money, because that way you know how certain cars could fail, and that way you're prepared for those problems. And if you see it, you'll be aware and you won't bid on a bad car. So I just feel like at the end of the day, it's gonna save you a lot of money and a lot of time. And I also feel like it could be beneficial in a different way, because if you do research about cars and you see this car, like last time there was an SL55 AMG, a Mercedes. A lot of people see an old car. It was a 2003, I think, and tons of people didn't bid on it. It was just like 2-3 guys that were bidding on it, and they bid on it, and it sold for $3,500. So I was just so mad because I had already purchased another car and I couldn't purchase this one. But yeah, there's tons of times when people don't research cars and they don't bid on them. But I mean, there's tons of cars that have huge value and they're sold really cheap because of the year. But a little research, you could get tons of money and go for a car that people might not want. People see an old car and that's a gold mine right there that's meant to be for you. So just be on the lookout. For if you like cars and you have passion and you want to do all the work yourself, I think it's a really good business, especially if you're willing to do the work yourself. If there happens to be something wrong with the car that you could repair, it's perfect because you could just do the repairs yourself and they might not be as expensive, and you can have a perfectly running car either for you or someone else for a small amount of money. Honestly, I feel like buying cars from an auction, it could be really profitable. And if you want to give it a try, just go right ahead. If you're passionate about cars and you just want to try something else that might work. Honestly, I feel like if you're going to start with something small and then just move up to different type of prices. So that way, in case you get a crappy car, you don't spend a lot of money and you don't waste it. Yeah, not trying to be negative or anything, just saying. Guys, just make sure you do your homework. Go out there and try to find out all this. There's tons of auction places. You just make sure if one is bad, just go to the next one. Don't get discouraged if you get a bad car, because we all got one. For every person that has bought auction cars, we always get a crappy one. So just don't worry, it happens. Try to get it out of your driveway as soon as possible and then go into the next one. Don't get discouraged. Do your homework and stay tuned for next videos.